The 7th century is the period from 601 to 700 in accordance with the Julian calendar in the Common Era. The Muslim conquests began with the unification of Arabia by Muhammad starting in 622. After Muhammad's death in 632, Islam expanded beyond the Arabian Peninsula under the Rashidun Caliphate and the Umayyad Caliphate. The Islamic conquest of Persia in the 7th century led to the downfall of the Sassanid Empire. Also conquered during the 7th century were Syria, Palestine, Armenia, Egypt, and North Africa. The Byzantine Empire continued suffering setbacks during the rapid expansion of the Arab Empire. In the Iberian Peninsula, the 7th century was the Siglo de Concilios, that is, century of councils, referring to the councils of Toledo. Persia united northern India, which had reverted to small republics and states after the fall of the Gupta Empire in the 6th century. In China, the Sui dynasty was replaced by the Tang dynasty, which set up its military bases from Korea to Central Asia, and was next to the Arabian later. China began to reach its height. Silla allied itself with the Tang dynasty, subjugating Bacca and defeating Goguryeo to unite the Korean peninsula under one ruler. The Asuka period persisted in Japan throughout the 7th century. Events. Islam begins in Arabia. The Quran is documented. The world's population shrinks to about 208 million people. The Anglo-Saxon heptarchy emerges at the beginning of the century, at the last in England. Sutton Hoo ship burial, East Anglia. Shan Sang travelled from China to India, before returning to Chang'an in China to translate Buddhist scriptures. Timgad, Algeria is destroyed by Berbers. End of sporadic Buddhist rule in the Sind. Croats entered the present territory early in the 7th century, settling in 6 distinct tribal delimitations. Teotihuacan is sacked. The political and religious buildings are burned. The religion of Shugendo evolves from Buddhism, Taoism, Shinto and other influences in the mountains of Japan. The Bulgars arrive in the Balkans. Establishment of the powerful Bulgarian Empire. Arab traders penetrate the area of Lake Chad. Earliest attested English poetry. Side panels. Basilica of Sant Apollinaire in Classe Hamade. Main compound, Hor-Uji, Nara Prefecture, is built. Asuka period. 7th and 9th century. Mosaics above apse. Basilica of Sant Apollinaire in Classe Hamade. 600. Smallpox spreads from India into Europe. 602. The Third Chinese domination of Vietnam starts following the collapse of the early Lai dynasty. 603. Last mention of the Roman Senate in Gregorian Register. It mentions that the Senate acclaimed the statues of Emperor Phocas and Empress Leontia. 606. Boniface elected papal successor on the death of Pope Sabinian. He sought and obtained a decree from Byzantine Emperor Phocas which stated that the see of Blessed Peter the Apostle should be the head of all the churches. This ensured that the title of universal bishop belonged exclusively to the Bishop of Rome. 607. Hor-Uji Temple believed to have been completed by 607 in Ikaruga, Japan. 610. Heraclius arrives by ship from Africa at Constantinople, overthrows East Roman Emperor Phocas and becomes emperor. His first major act is to change the official language of the East Roman Empire from a Latin to Greek. 615. The Sassanid Empire under Shah Khosrau II sacks Jerusalem, taking away the relic of the true cross. 615. Pakal the Great becomes king of the Mayan city-state of Palenque. 616. Shah Chosroes II invades Egypt. 616. Ethelfrith of Northumbria defeats the Welsh in a battle at Chester, in England. 618. Tang dynasty of China initiated by Li Yuan. 618, the Qianlong Kingdom completely absorbed Funan. Guangzhou, China, becomes a major international seaport, hosting maritime travelers from Egypt, East Africa, Arabia, Persia, India, Sri Lanka, and Southeast Asia, including Muslims, Jews, Hindus, and Nestorian Christians. 622, year 1 of the Islamic calendar begins, during which the Hijra occurs. Muhammad and his followers emigrate from Mecca to Medina in September. 623, the Frankish merchant Samo, supporting the Slavs fighting their Avar rulers, becomes the ruler of the first known Slav state in Central Europe. 626, the Avars and the Persians jointly besiege but fail to capture Constantinople. 627, Emperor Heraclius defeats the Persians, ending the Roman-Persian Wars. 629, the Byzantine-Arab Wars begin. Much of the Roman Empire is conquered by Muslim Arabs led by Khalid ibn al-Walid. 629–630, Emperor Taizong's campaign against eastern Tujue. Chinese Tang dynasty forces under commanders Li Jing and Li Shiji destroyed the Goktua Khanate. 632, the Muslim conquests begin. 635–649, Alapen, a Persian Christian priest, introduces Nestorian Christianity into China. 636, around this time the Battle of Al-Qadisiyah resulted in a decisive victory for Muslims in the Islamic conquest of Persia. The Persian Empire is conquered by Muslim Arabs led by Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. 638, Emperor Taizong issues an edict of universal toleration of religions. Nestorian Christians build a church in Chang'an. 638, Muslim conquest of Palestine. 639, Muslim conquest of Egypt and Armenia. 639, unsuccessful revolt of Ashinaji Shui of the Turkic people against Tang China. 641, the Coptic period, in its more specific definition, ends when Islam is introduced into Egypt. 642, Library of Alexandria destroyed again. 649–683, Chinese Emperor Gaozong permits establishment of Christian monasteries in each of 358 prefectures. 650, the Khazar-Arab Wars begin. Mid-7th century, Durga Mahishasura Mardini, rock cut relief, Mamallapuram, Tamil Nadu, India, is made. Pallava period. It is now kept at Asian Art Archives, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. Mid-7th century, portrait of Lord Pakal, from his tomb, Temple of the Inscriptions, Palenque, Mexico, is made. Maya culture. It is now kept at Museo Nacional de Antropología, Mexico City. C. Mid-7th century, Dharmaraja Ratha, Mamallapuram, Tamil Nadu, India, is built. Pallava period. 651, Emperor Yazd III is murdered in Merv, ending the rule of Sassanid dynasty in Persia. 656–661, the First Islamic Civil War. 657, the Chinese Tang dynasty under Emperor Gaozong of Tang defeats Western Turkic Khaganate. 658, two Chinese monks, Zhiyu and Zhiyu, reconstruct the 3rd century south-pointing chariot mechanical compass vehicle for Emperor Tenji of Japan. 661, Caliph Ali ibn Abi Talib is assassinated. His successor Hassan ibn Ali abdicated the caliphate to Muawiyah I, marking the beginning of the Umayyad Caliphate. 663, the Tang dynasty of China and Korean Silla Kingdom gain victory against the Korean Baekje Kingdom and the Yamato Japanese allies in the naval Battle of Bagang. 664, conquest of Kabul by Muslims. 664, a Tang dynasty Chinese source written by I Sing mentioned about Holing Kingdom, located somewhere in the northern coast of central Java. 668, the end of the Goguryeo-Tang Wars, as Goguryeo fell to a joint attack by Tang China and unified Silla of Korea, the latter of which held the former Goguryeo domains. 670, in 670 an Arab Muslim army under Uqba ibn Nafi entered the region of Ifriqiya. In the late 670s conquest of North Africa was completed. 671, I Sing visited Srivijaya in Malayu in Sumatra and Kedar in Malay Peninsula on his way to Nalanda, India. 674, the first Arab siege of Constantinople begins. 677, most of the Arab fleet is destroyed by Greek fire. The Persian crown prince flees to the Tiang court. 680, decisive victory of the Bulgars over the Byzantines in the Battle of Ongol. 680, Battle of Karbala took place near Kufa, which resulted in the death of Hussein ibn Ali and the division of Muslim community. 681, Bulgaria is recognized as independent country by the Byzantine Empire. 682, revival of the Turkish Khaganate by the efforts of Iltmish Khagan and Tonyakuk. 683, Dapunta Hyang Sri Jayanasa performed Siddhartha as the journey to expand his influence. The event mentioned in several inscriptions such as Telaga Batu inscription, Talang Tuo inscription and Kedukan Bucket inscription. The beginning of Srivijaya hegemony over the maritime region around Malacca Strait and Sunda Strait. 683 to 685, the Second Islamic Civil War. 686, Srivijaya launch a naval invasion of Java, which is mentioned in Kota inscription. This likely contributed to the end of Tarumanagara Kingdom. 687, I Sing returned to Srivijaya on his way back from India to China. In his record he reported that the kingdom of Malayu was captured by Srivijaya. 688, Emperor Justinian II of the Byzantine Empire defeats the Bulgarians. 690, pro-Buddhist imperial consort Wu Zetian seizes power and rules as emperors of China. 691, Buddhism is made the state religion of China. 694, Hispano-Visigothic King Egica accuses the Jews of aiding the Muslims, and sentences all Jews to slavery. 698, the Arabs capture Carthage from the Byzantine Empire. 698, active but unofficial anti-Christian persecution begins in China. 698, North-South States period begins in Korea. 700, the Mount Edsisa volcanic complex erupts in northern British Columbia, Canada. 700, the Sumatra-based Srivijaya naval kingdom flourishes and declines. 700, wheatfield rice cultivation, small towns and kingdoms flourish. Trade links are established with China and India. 700, the Sojo-Meto inscription, possibly dated around late 7th century, is discovered in Batang, central Java. It mentions Dapunta Sailendra, possibly the ancestor of Sailendra dynasty. The inscription was written in Old Malay, suggesting a Srivijayan link to this family. Significant people: Abu Bakr, first Caliph of Islam; Aelfhelad of Whitby, Ethelbert King of Kent; Ethelberg of Thammoutiers, Ethelberg of Kent; Ethelfroth, Ali ibn Abi Talib, cousin of Muhammad, fourth Caliph of Islam, first Shia Imam; Anna of East Anglia, Antara ibn Shaddad, Arab poet, the unknown archon, led the Serbs to the Balkans from the north. Asparuh Khan of the Bulgars and founder of contemporary Bulgaria. Saint Asaph, Augustine era, Zagina, Irish scientist. Benjamin Un, Coptic Patriarch of Alexandria during the Islamic conquest of Egypt. Bertha of Kent, Brahmagupta, Indian mathematician. Cadman, English poet. Senfalad Makalila, Irish scholar, died 679. Chan Imix Karweel, 12th Hajor of Kopan. St. Cuthbert, Daejo Young, founder of Korean ballet. Inflid, Emperor Gaozong of Tang, China. Gregory the Great, theologian, pope, civil administrator of Rome. Heraclius, warrior emperor of Byzantium who won numerous victories against the Sassanids. Hariswitha, Hilda of Whitby, Huineng, 6th and last patriarch of Chan Buddhism. Iltush Khagan, founder of the Second Turkish Khaganate. Isaac of Nineveh, Nestorian Christian theologian. Khalid ibn al-Walid, Muslim Arab military commander who defeated the Roman and Persian empires in over 80 battles. Kumarila Bhatta, philosopher and Vedic exegete. Li Jing, Chinese general who conquered the Eastern Turkish Khaganate and defeated the two Yuhun kingdom. Li Shiji, Chinese general and later prime minister. Muhammad, final prophet in Islamic religion. Narasimhavarman, Pallava dynasty, Tamil Nadu. Pakal, the great ruler of May state of Palank. Pulakshan II, fourth ruler of the Chalukya dynasty in India. Radwild of East Anglia. Sambandar, Siva Perdsant of Tamil Nadu. Sixpur of Ely. Sigurbat of East Anglia. Su Dingfang, a general of the Chinese dynasty Tang dynasty who succeeded in destroying the Western Turkish Khaganate. Emperor Taizong of Tang, China. Tirunavakarasa, Indian poet. Tong Yabgu, leader of the Western Turks and the probable founder of the Khazar Khaganate. Umar, second Caliph of Islam. Uthman, third Caliph of Islam. Withburger, Wu Zishan, the only woman in the history of China to assume the title of Empress Regnant. Yun Gaisman, Generalissimo of Korean Goguryeo. Inventions, discoveries, introductions. The Zumi Pagoda in Zhengding, China is built in 636. 650. The first Chinese paper money is issued. 670s. Greek fire invented in Constantinople. The stirrup introduced to Persia from China, late 7th century. Earliest known record of the game Chaturang, predecessor to chess. After sailing from Ethiopia, Ibn Abi Waqas brings the first Quran to China, and establishes the first Islamic mosque of China in Guangzhou in the 630s. Decades and years.